guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's video, I'm going to be making the very famous Nigerian party jollof rice, and I'm going to be showing you how to achieve that smoky flavor, that party flavor. And in order for you to get that smoky flavor, you need to roast your peppers. So I just put in my tomatoes, and that is my sweet pointed peppers. I'm also going to go in with my red bell peppers. For you to enjoy and like the color of your rice, it will show in the peppers that you pick. So you need to outsource the very lush and very smooth red peppers so that you can get that flavor and you can get that color. So this is me putting in my garlic and my ginger. I put in my onions, and I just kept 2 Scotch Bonnet because the Scotch Bonnet here is really hot, so 2 is just enough. And I drizzled in some cooking oil, and we are going to pop this in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Not to worry about all the ingredients mentioned here, I have them in my description box, so make sure you check them while you're following this process, okay? So you're going to blend this, and after blending, this is what your pepper will look like. I'm going to go in with my rice. I'm using the Tesco 1 kg rice. 1 kg rice is approximately 5 to 6 cups of rice. Before I even got this rice, I have tested all the rice in Dublin for me to get this perfect rice. I've been using this rice forever now. It's very good. This cup of rice that I'm putting extra is the second secret I'm going to be telling you, so make sure you stick to this video and watch it to the end. So I'm going to be washing my rice, but before then I'm going to put in my hot water, and I'm not going to wash it immediately. I'm going to soak it for about 15 minutes. Soaking your rice for about 15 minutes helps the rice to soften a bit, and then thereby fastens and quickens the process of your rice cooking in the sauce. So you have to wash your rice until it is very clear. Emphasis on very clear, because if you want your rice to stand one, as in on their own, without having to gum on each other, you need to make sure you put in your best in this process. So make sure you wash the rice till it is clear, and then you drain, and then you set aside for the next process. The next step is to make our base for the jollof rice. And in order for you to do that, I'm actually using beef to actually enhance the oil, to give my oil a flavor, just to add to my jollof rice. If you don't have any protein, that's fine. You're going to put in your beef or your turkey or whatever you have, and then fry it to your taste. However you want it, very dry, lightly fried, whichever is your choice. But I like my own very dried, so I'm leaving it in the oil to be really dried. And then I take it off the oil, so that we can start with the main process of the jollof rice. Then I go in with my onions. My onions is also packed with flavors. I grated ginger and garlic inside. It helps with the flavor also. Everything about the jollof rice has to do with your flavor. And then I add my bay leaves. I just added 2. If you want to add a lot, that's fine, but I don't think it's necessary. Then I added my thyme, and then I'm going to be stirring that to make the flavors lock in together. And then I had to reduce the volume of the I had to reduce the heat because it was getting really hot and my onions were getting really burnt. But funny how it's perfect for this recipe, because we all want that smoky flavor. So I added my curry, and then I'm going to be stirring that to make the flavors lock in together. And then I'm adding the major star ingredient, which is tomato paste. I'm going to be adding a very good amount of tomato paste. You are not to add too much, I are not to add too little. It has to be just enough, because this is also going to help with the color of your base. That is your jollof rice base. You are going to be mixing this in the oil, and make sure at the end of the day it looks exactly like stew. How do I mean it looks exactly like this? It has to be like very nice pasty but stewy look. And then I added our mix, which is the one that we blended, and then I go in with my beef stock, very important. And then I start adding my spices. That is a very nice spice, It is called the stick seasoning. I didn't really check the label of what it includes, but I think I'll do that for you later in another video. But I'm going to be using 2 Maggi. I'm going to be using the Maggi Star, and I'm also going to be using the Maggi Chicken. Maggi Star because it is the beef that I'm using, and if it was chicken I would have used chicken seasoning all through, but the Maggi Star and the Maggi Chicken will help the taste of the jollof rice anyway. And I added my salt, and then I'm adding the Cajun Seasoning. I just found out about this seasoning last week and I've been using it and it has been perfect. I also used it to season my beef. If you would want a beef seasoning video, please let me know and I'll do that for you guys. I'm going in with my paprika. Paprika is a very nice seasoning also. Make sure you add this spice to your collection of spices, and then I'm mixing this and I'm allowing it to cook for I think 20 or 15 minutes. The paste has already been cooked. I mean, you popped it in the oven, but you just need to have your sauce to cook like very well. It was really splashing and I had to just cover the pot back, and then I opened it later, and then I'm going to be adding my rice, your washed rice. We are going to be mixing the rice in the sauce. Make sure that the rice is really mixed well, because you're not going to be turning this jollof rice anyhow. Once it's going to be closed, you're going to leave it for a long time, allow it to cook. So you're going to mix it very well so you cannot see the rice, like you cannot see any white grain. It has to be really mixed in the stew and let everything just be covered. Then I go in with my last stock, that is the stock. I'm not going to be adding any more water. What is going to cook this rice is the heat. I'm not going to be adding any water aside from this. So I'm making sure the stock has gone round and then the rice is trapped inside the stock. And I'm going to be adding bay leaf for extra flavor, and we're going to be covering it with foil. Very important step, because this will help trap the heat inside the pot, and thereby the heat will cook the rice. So that is the smoky jollof rice rule number 1. In order for you to get that smoky flavor and for your rice to be standing one grain, you need to make sure it's only the heat that cooks it. And then for extra heating, I'm going to be putting nylon into my pot, and I'm going to be covering it and sealing it well, as in no space, no air for the smoke to come out. Everything will be trapped inside the pot to make the rice cook. So you're going to cook this rice on a very low heat for 45 minutes. Make sure you don't open it, you don't touch it, just leave it. Be very patient. You have to be really patient when you're making this jollof rice. I cooked mine on a very low heat and I've taken the foil off after 45 minutes, and then I'm going to be stirring it, because trust me, the jollof rice is ready. I wouldn't say like nearly ready, but it is very ready. I just need to like stir it and add all the remaining flavors that needs to keep the rice in check. You can see how lush and beautiful the rice is already looking. Very sumptuous and very delicious. You can grab a plate and just bring your plates to eat. So this is how it looks. It looks beautiful. You can see from the color that the choice of the pepper is what really helped the color, and then your tomato paste is what really helped the color of your jollof rice. Now I'm going to be adding in the remaining ingredient, which is my onions, chopped onions. You can chop it anyhow you like. I'm going to be adding my butter, and this is where the magic happens. I'm going to be dipping in my spoon like to puncture some holes so that the smoke can go round, and I have covered the pot. I increased it to the highest for 10 minutes, and this is what we have: smoky patty jollof rice. Remember the extra cups of rice that I added, and I told you I was going to tell you why. This is where it comes in. I need my 1 kg of rice to be intact by the time I finish burning the jollof rice to give it a smoky flavor. So that's why I added the extra cups of rice. So you would want to do that so that you can keep your rice intact. Do you know what is remaining for you? Just go and wear your clothes, dress up as if you are going for a party, and then you serve yourself delicious goodness, and grab your bottle of wine or water or juice, whichever. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Okay, bye.